Hello everyone, I am Rashi Goyal and I am pursuing BLLB from University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, Dehradun. And currently I am a legal intern at Lexis & Company for the month of June. So the topic for my today's video is agreement and contract. Contract acts have always been a very indispensable and a very essential part of our lives. Knowingly or unknowingly, we enter into a contract hundreds of times in a year. Even when we buy a candy, we are entering into an agreement with the shopkeeper. Every time we visit a restaurant or book a cab, we are entering into a contract. Although the law of contract is developing with time, the jurisprudence of the contract remains the same. We know what a contract is all about, but new situations arise every day and a new question appears in the mind of whether this particular agreement should be regarded as contract or not. So, one of the common question among people is recognizing the difference between a contract and an agreement. They are frequently used interchangeably. For example, when the owner of the house hands over the rent agreement and says, "Please sign the contract," this creates uncertainty whether the document is agreement or a contract. We come across contract killers in the movies who charge money to kill people. Have you ever thought, is a contract of killing someone for money is valid or not? Or can the man giving contract sue the contract killer in the court of law, saying that the other party has committed a breach of contract by not doing the job even after the payment of the money? So, for knowing the answer of all these questions, we should know what is agreement and what is contract. So, let's start with agreement. An agreement is a promise between two entities which creates mutual obligations by law. Section 2, Clause E of the Indian Contract Act 1872 defines an agreement as every promise and every set of promises forming the consideration for each other. To form an agreement, there are certain ingredients that are required. First is parties. There need to be two or more parties to form an agreement. Second, offer or proposal. When a person signifies to another his willingness of doing or omitting to do something with a view to obtain others' assent. It is defined under Section 2, Clause A of the Act. Third, acceptance. When the person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent for the same thing in the same sense as proposed by the offerer, it is defined under Section 2, Clause B of the Act. Fourth is promise. When a proposal is accepted, it becomes promise. It is defined under Clause B of Section 2 of the Act. And fifth is consideration. It is the price for the promise. It is the return one gets from his act or omission. It is defined in Clause D of Section 2 of this Act. So, agreement equals to promise or set of promises which includes offer plus acceptance, which adds up to consideration for all the parties, becomes an agreement. Let's take one example. If a 7-year-old boy is buying an ice cream from an ice cream vendor and giving rupees 10 in return, it becomes an agreement. This is because the boy offers to buy ice cream and the vendor accepts the offer, which makes it a promise. The consideration for both was ice cream and money respectively. Now let's move to contract. A contract is a lawful agreement. In other words, an agreement which is enforceable by law is a contract. It is defined under Section 2, Clause H of the Indian Contract Act. Here, enforceable by law means that if somebody is aggrieved, then he may approach to the court of law for remedies. For example, in the case of a fire insurance contract, where T2 wants to insure his goods in the warehouse, he pays the insurance premium and promises to avoid insurance fraud, where insurance company agrees to compensate losses in the case of fire. So, agreement plus enforceable by law together becomes a contract. When an offer is made with the intention to create a legal obligation, it becomes an offer for entering into a contract. Thus, the agreement becomes a contract when there is free consent of the parties, the capacity of the parties to contract, lawful consideration, and object or the subject matter as given under Section 10 of the Indian Contract Act. For an agreement to become a contract, it must give rise to legal obligations, and if it is incapable of doing so, it is not a contract. Now, the law says that any contract entered between the persons below the age of 18 years is not enforceable. In the example of 7-year-old boy buying ice cream from the ice cream vendor, which I illustrated before, here the deal between the boy and the ice cream vendor was an agreement, but it cannot be termed as contract because it is not legally enforceable. So, an agreement is a contract when there is free consent, capacity of the parties to contract, and there is a lawful consideration and lawful object. Let's discuss few more examples. Suppose a mother promises her crying child that she will buy a Barbie doll for her, but she does not buy it. Here, promise was not made with the intention to fulfill it, and so it is not enforceable and cannot be termed as contract. And suppose I offer my pen to my friend and she accepts it. Here, an agreement is made, but such agreement is made out of friendship and has no consideration. An agreement without consideration is not a contract. So now let's talk about the types of contracts. There are various types of contracts. So first is adhesion contract. These types of contracts are those which are formed by the stronger party. It is a sort of opt for it or do not contract. The stronger party or the one that has bargaining power leaves the other party with a choice whether to accept it or reject the contract. For example, suppose Ramesh went to buy 1 kg onions and vendor stated price of rupees 50 for 1 kg onions, to which Ramesh bargained and said he will only give rupees 30 for 1 kg onions and otherwise he will buy from some other vendor. Second type is electric contract. This type of contract involves a mutual agreement that comes into being after unexpected occurrence, accident, or a natural calamity. In this type of contract, both the parties have an element of risk. Fire or car insurance are these type of contract. Third type is bilateral or unilateral contract. Contracts involving two parties are bilateral contracts. Both parties are obliged to one another for performing or abstaining to perform any act. It is also called two-sided contract as it involves two-way promises. Meanwhile, unilateral contracts are those in which the promise is made by only one party. They consist of an offerer and an offeree. the offerer makes a promise to perform an action and is bound by law to do so. The offeree is not bound to the court even if he fails to execute the requested action because he does not made any promise. Fourth type is express contracts. These contracts are those wherein the terms of the contract are expressed clearly, whether in written or orally. Fifth is implied contracts. There are no oral or written terms in this type of contract. The contracts are assumed owing to the facts of the parties. If an individual visits a medical practitioner, he expects to be diagnosed for a disease or illness and be advised a cure. This is an implied contract, and a patient is capable of suing a medical practitioner for any malpractice. And the sixth type is void and voidable contracts. Void contracts are illegal from the very beginning and hold no validity under law. They are thereby unenforceable. Voidable contracts are unlike void contracts in the sense that one party is bound by the contract and the unbound party is capable of terminating the contract as they are unbound to do it. Thank you everyone for watching my video. I hope you like it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to let me know your feedback in the comment section. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy.